You are not a beginner at drawing anymore, and you know you need regular practice to make progress with your skills. But apart from wanting to get better, you lack motivation to actually sit down and draw every day because you don't enjoy it. So, what do you do at this point when progress might seem slow? I have struggled with this, but I have been able to start enjoying drawing even if it's bad. And I wrote this essay to try to bring together and better understand what I have learned over time about what might help you work consistently on your projects and enjoy it. I will focus specifically on how to enjoy drawing when you're at this point because that's the method to get motivated that interests me most. And I will talk about it now while doing some basic drawing exercises. It can be hard to practice your drawing skills regularly because it can feel frustrating, boring and or overwhelming because it doesn't feel good to make drawings that don't turn out well and look ugly. But that's precisely what practice is. People often give up drawing because they don't enjoy it, and that's why they're not motivated to put in the work that is required to learn. When you are at a point in your journey when you're not a beginner anymore, but you still have so much to learn, you might feel discouraged by the amount of work you still need to do to get better, or frustrated with yourself when there are still basic skills that you haven't acquired yet. Personally, I find this topic interesting because I have struggled a lot with consistently and enjoying practice over the years, because it's so hard to see your progress over a short amount of time, and that has been discouraging to me. And the result has been a lack of practice and therefore of progress. So, to make me do the work, I had to look for reasons that appeal to me more than just the awareness that I need to practice, for reasons to draw more. What I really wanted, as I said, is to find out if there was a way to start enjoying doing the hard work, because I personally don't have good skills to make myself draw when I don't enjoy it, and I'm much more interested in finding out if there's a way to learn to enjoy drawing, at least in part. And I mean drawing when it's hard, because you might enjoy drawing something that you know how to draw, but the hard part is when you have to do the consistent practice to get better. If you like doing something, you tend to not notice how much work you're putting into it, because the time passes by quickly. In that case you end up doing hard work, but it feels easy. That's what I wanted to achieve somehow. So we're going to look at what might help to get to that point. But first, let's talk a little bit more about what enjoyment exactly is. In my opinion, it's a tool that we have that we can use to do the work that is required, or the activities that we need to do to achieve the results that we want, if we know how to use it. I do believe that you can find ways to enjoy things even if that's not the case for you from the start. Like with any other tool, you have to learn to use it correctly, and that is what helped me figure out how I could achieve my goal. But like with any other tool, you have to learn to use it correctly. I think that it's not something that is either there in the first place or isn't, but that you can make it happen. You can learn to enjoy something. However, like with any other tool, you have to learn how to do that correctly, and that is something that I needed to explore. So, how exactly can we use it? I think one problem with the idea of wanting to enjoy something is that we tend to think of enjoyment as the reward for doing something well and producing the desired result. But that is something that you can only achieve after putting in the work for some time, possibly a long time, to acquire the skill. We might be able to draw some things that we like from the start or close to the start, but we also have to put in hours of practice and produce ugly drawings to learn. You can't put off the your reward for putting in the work or feeling good about putting in the work, because then you won't want to do it. So you have to find a way to enjoy drawing now, even if it doesn't look good. And what could make you enjoy drawing now regardless of your skill level? Well, to achieve that, you need to get some sort of reward from drawing, and it could either be external or internal. Using external rewards would be giving yourself something that you like. For example, you could get a small item or experience that you like every time you practice, or collect points for a bigger item or experience. Or you could do another activity while drawing, like listening to a podcast or having your favorite drink. That can work in certain circumstances and for certain people. However, since those rewards are separate from drawing, meaning you could still do or get them independently, they might not be powerful enough depending on what works for you. Using an internal reward in turn would mean to find something to enjoy about drawing itself or about the process of drawing. But regardless of the kind of reward that you use, what's important is that it changes how you feel about drawing. Giving myself an external reward after drawing doesn't really work for me personally, because they don't change how I feel about drawing itself. They only make me look forward to when the drawing session is over, and that is not working for me. I think the most powerful way to reward yourself is by using a feeling, because feelings are linked to experiences. That means that you will be able to summon that feeling by repeating the experience, in this case drawing, which can make you more likely to want to do that activity again. And also you can already be receiving your reward for putting in the work while you are drawing without having to wait for later. Feelings can be influenced by external rewards, not only internal processes, meaning that you could develop a feeling of wanting to draw with the help of external rewards. For example, if you like listening to a podcast and drawing at the same time, you might want to draw more often to have that rewarding experience again. But how can you make yourself feel that you enjoy drawing? Our feelings are influenced by our ideas and perceptions about the world. For example, not feeling like working on your project today, like a painting or a novel, may be linked to your perception that it's hard to do these things, and therefore you would have to put in a lot of effort. But that means that you can in turn use your mind to influence how you feel about things by understanding how you think about things in a way that is conducive to promote the right feelings. What helped me a lot is realizing that you don't need to enjoy every part of an activity to feel like you do enjoy the activity. If there's only one part or a couple that you look forward to, it might still be worth it to you. You could find little things about drawing that you enjoy, even if the overall experience is not everything that you like, or you are trying to draw things that you don't enjoy drawing. And you could be easier on yourself about the hard parts, so that you don't let the dread of having to do those overshadow the enjoyment of the of other little things. Maybe you just need to lower your standards and not expect certain results, but just celebrate that you did the work. If, for example, you just tell yourself, I'll try to do this thing even though I have no idea, but you're not trying to make it perfect, just to try it a little bit and see how it goes. But if you don't enjoy drawing itself right now, for example, because it feels hard, you might find something about the process that you can enjoy. And by process, I mean everything that you do that is related to your drawing sessions. For example, how you set up your workspace, what you do while drawing, how you track your progress, etc. We will now go through some specific ideas that can help you find out what you could enjoy about drawing. The first idea is to stop taking it so seriously and explore instead. Maybe you are too hard on yourself when you do your practice. I know I was. Some of my practice drawings that I have done in the past look good, others ugly, but what's important is that I realized that I was focusing on the wrong thing. The difference is that with the idea of exploring in mind, you don't worry about exact lines and shapes. It's the big picture that matters. The idea of exploring means approaching each practice with curiosity. It is asking what will happen instead of saying this has to happen or I will feel like a failure. It is asking what can I do and how can I apply the tools instead of what am I supposed to do. Exploring is trying things and see what works for you. It helps you find out more information before settling on any method or style or whatever it is that you need to learn to be able to draw well. And it helps you produce more, be surprised, and ultimately have fun. This is the notion that every new drawing that you do adds to your progress. You could represent this by making entries in your progress book like I do, or putting small objects in a jar. You will see all of this stacking up over time. You don't need to worry if you're not super consistent, because if you do it this way, you will feel like you're building on what you did before instead of starting anew every time. It can give you motivation to keep on it since you already made some progress. I love this accumulation method because it feels like a reward to me to see myself being serious about my goals and putting in the work. Even if I don't practice every day, I still see progress, and it helps me want to keep adding to it. It changed my life because I unlinked the feeling of reward from the outcome of the practice sessions, meaning the drawings themselves, and linked it instead to the act of doing the practice sessions, regardless of the outcome. This way, making bad drawings no longer felt demotivating to me, but just part of the process, because it is. Keep a record of your work so that you can see your progress over time. I have my physical folder that I made, and I was lacking a folder on my computer, so I made one. The idea is to keep your practice drawings in these folders. Even if your practice drawings are bad, you should acknowledge that you put in the work. In the digital folder, I will do the same thing as in the physical folder, and I will keep a picture of every page that I filled. You can also keep logs in the same folders where you record every new page or every new drawing that you add to that folder, together with the date, for example. I use a separate sheet for the physical folder and a simple text document for the digital folder. Also look back through your past work every now and then, because that can also be motivating. Keep going. You can always make another drawing. Keeping a record of your drawings works because it helps you start seeing and accumulating small wins. A win can be a drawing that turned out well, but it can also be just the fact that you showed up that day and drew. Small wins give you proof that you can achieve something and courage to keep going or go for bigger goals. It also helps you believe in yourself because it tells you that you are taking yourself seriously and putting in the work. I didn't expect the car painting in color to turn out that well, but as I was seeing it come together, struggling with making straight lines and all, I realized that you don't even have to try that hard. When you have drawn the same thing several times, you start to get the hang of it, whether you realize it or not. The key is having a system and doing the work. You don't have to worry that you're not moving forward or that you can't draw exactly what you want, because if you practice, you will make progress, whether you realize it or not. You do need to think about what it is that you need to learn and look for exercises that help you with that, but you don't have to worry about not being able to draw everything that you want to right now, because when you keep practicing, it will feel easier and easier to draw the things you want to draw, even if right now it feels very new and difficult. You can tell your mind to shut up with the narratives and do the work, because the rest will come alone. What it means is that you can relax about the hard parts and enjoy drawing the rest. Not to stop drawing hard things, but to just not judge everything that you do so harshly, because you don't have to invest all your effort in every moment to be able to achieve the results that you want over time. If you can't figure something out, do the first best thing that comes to mind and move on. Your drawing might be incomplete or partially ugly, but who cares? You learned something and you had some fun or earned a new entry in your progress book, whatever it is. And that's not only not enough for this practice, but it is much better than getting everything right. Because if you can make the practice easy enough to want to do it, then it's worth sacrificing some quality of the end result. So these are some ideas that you can use to change how you think about drawing and start finding things that you enjoy about it. And you can also go back to the general principle of using your ideas and perceptions to try to change how you feel about drawing, to find out new things that you could enjoy about it. I'm kind of happy with my results at this point, not because they look good, but because they have made me curious for what else I can do and how my progress will look like as I keep drawing. Because as I was drawing, I did discover interesting things about the objects that I was drawing and the process itself. So I can see the potential, and that is enough to keep me going. If you want to do something consistently, you can find ways to enjoy it.